Testing. Are we going live? Let's see. Before we were live on YouTube only. Let's see if we're also live. We got our members on as well. Probably is a delay, but I trust we are here. All right. Welcome to day 2 of Be More Impactful Challenge. What a day we had yesterday about discovering and understanding the importance of what makes you unique. Because what we discussed in the VIP group is the fact that you have no competitors when you know what truly makes you unique. Yeah. Sadly, most people cannot articulate what makes them unique. And I've been there. I didn't even know what made me unique. What was my passion? I had no idea. I learned it the hard way. What truly made my heart sing. And that's also why I do what I do today, helping other people set them up for success. And as a challenge like this, share tools that I know work, that I not learned in business courses when I did my corporate gigs or any other courses, universities. I only learned these, not modalities, but these frameworks and tools and systems and strategies by investing in myself and working with very successful leaders, entrepreneurs, and CEOs. And I learned also how to be impactful. I want to start up with a quote or something I learned from my mentor, one of them. And it's very relevant for what we're going to talk about today. That's impact strategies. He said, let the output take care of themselves and take care of the input. I'll say that one more time. Let the output take care of themselves and take care of the input. I did it the wrong way or the hard way most of my career. I so much focused on the results, but nobody told me and taught me about the outer world and the inner world, about my limiting beliefs, about my fears, and how I, without me knowing, sabotaged my own success. And I traded in my time with money and what I thought was success. But I learned also that that is the really hard way to do life. And if you're anything like me, you say that in English, but I think you get what I mean, is that if you have some sort, I don't even want to dwell on this. If you are like me, who wants more out of life, who wants to create impact in this world, I want to really make impact in this world. I feel I have a purpose, a life purpose. I also want to enjoy life. And I want to make money so I can enjoy what I think life is truly all about. Then it's not about focusing on the end result. We talked about it yesterday with the 4 levels, right? Transactional step is the lowest step, and sadly, most people are there because we haven't learned it in school. Now, those of you who joined me yesterday, you got an insight in these 4 levels of wealth and success and leadership. I was there. I spent most of my life in the transactional mode. But I learned that that was really hard because I traded in my life for some money. But If we want to truly take care of the input, then it's about how we show up, each and every day. If you followed me for a while, you know how passionate I am about authentic leadership, because most people are not authentic. Let's face it, we are not authentic because there are so many norms out there that what will they say? Can I say it's not correct to say that? Excuse me, but bullshit. Like, the best thing you can ever do for yourself is to show up for yourself. And when you show up as who you truly are, and you find a job that becomes your passion, that is aligned with who you are and your source calling, your soul calling, then it's so easy to serve. And then we go up to the highest point, where it's transformation, where most people have been there. We talk about transformation, but really it's transaction. What I want to share with you today is that in order for you to be truly impactful, first off, you want to know what your skills are and what makes you really unique. But then it's the very interesting triangle I shared with you yesterday, the fulfillment triangle. But there's more to it. That's really knowing who you serve. And it's psychology, because you want to serve them so deeply that you not only, like the Maslow pyramid or the iceberg, and it's so common. And you may say, oh, Camilla, but it's so basic. But most people don't do it. Like my mentor would say, most people don't know how to think. So I invite you really to listen, because I'm in groups with really successful CEOs, and he teaches us how to think, right? So listen, if you have a dream to serve some very successful leaders in this world. So, but going back to the Maslow, then most of us and people, we on this level, and we say, okay, the change management, the surface, what we see, and what's hidden, right? That's the hidden thing. But in order for us to truly impact, then that's psychology. Then we get to go beneath what we can just see, or what we can just experience with one why. So we want to go from the transactional mindset to the transformational mindset. I have a lot of tools. I can only share as much as I can in this hour, and then we have VIP hour as well. So get pen and paper, because this has the opportunity, or why do I keep saying opportunity? Because it has the potential to transform your life and your career, because it's done. I've done that. I've transformed my life and I transformed my career. And I'm not a genius, but I learned a thing or two about listening to the inner world, finding my wisdom, my superpower. And the same is for you. You just have to do the work, right? If you're not part of our community, of course, because then we're here and we support you. But let's go in. Where's my note? All right. So here, and I do also the triangle. Let's get another. Where's my red? I don't have a red right now. But remember the triangles. And I think you can see it. You can see it. So here's your customer. Here's you. And the impact. And sometimes I always say curriculum. If you are to curriculum, to pitch yourself for a new role. Most people, let's quote my mentor again. He say people don't think. It's about critical thinking. It's about being so curious. And what stands in the way for most people, 99% of all people, is their limiting beliefs, it's their fears, it's the self-criticism, what will other people think. It's those, the bullshit rules that society has that we conform to, or traditions that was created by people who are dead, who are no longer here. Or you will also hear, like from Vishen Lakhiani, if you're a Mindvalley member and you are already on your personal development, is that tradition is peer pressure. And I really love that. My body's responding now. Traditions are peer pressure. And how, if you're going to conform to peer pressure, how can you ever live your life? How can you ever unleash your full potential if you are to conform to other people's lower standards? It's impossible. And that's why it creates so much friction within us, right? And that's why so many people burn their lights in both ends. And yes, I've been there. In coaching, we say you can only take clients as deep as you've been. And if you know my story, I've been pretty deep in my own life, but I also got up again, right? And I'm keep evolving. That's why I know that what I share works. So when I say surface level, I truly mean it, because, and I always mean what I say, challenge me, right? But very few people really are so concerned about those they serve that they're not asking the deeper questions, the diagnostic questions. They're not curious enough. They're accepting just the first answer or the second answer. Most people accept the first answer, but the first answer is never the answer. That's just the surface answer, and then probably they will push you away. So you want to be so curious about this person. And I shared it with my clients, and I'm happy to share it here. When I started applying all these tools have shared yesterday with you and today as well, it's about asking those questions that nobody else would dare to ask. And I did that in a meeting, and I was pretty scared because I had to leave my comfort zone. And it's always nice to be, is safer, let me put it like that. It's safer to be in your uncomfortable comfort zone than not in your comfort zone. Because if you want to level up, you get to do something that scares you 20 minutes every single day. So just look at what you've done today. Have you done something that really scared you, leaning in and embracing the unknown? Have you done that for 20 minutes today? Or did you actually repeat yesterday? Most people are on autopilot and they repeat yesterday's behaviors and thoughts patterns and action patterns. Maybe you've done that the last 10 years or 15 years, right? It's really about challenging. And where does that lead us to? Listen, when you want to create more impact, it's about being so attached to the process and the conversation and not the result. I ask my clients in our community, ask my clients, but also we had a conversation in our Project Olympus community the other day about how bold are you really? And do you truly listen and ask those questions? And people who said, well, really not. Really, I really don't. I could be bolder. Let me put it like that. So we want to, and also about being attached to the results and not to the outcome. It's really, really interesting, because when we attach to the results, that's ego-driven, right? It's ego-driven. But if we're coming from the highest place of servantship, the highest place where we are so passionate about creating an impact in this world, it's about serving. And we come from, not from our ego, not about serving and meeting our own needs, but actually meeting other people's needs. That is a difference. That is a difference in how you show up. That is a difference also in how you think. When you truly serve, Because when you're truly here to serve, it's not your own agenda, it's not your own results, but you listen to what is not said. We're talking about language also in a bit. But let me just go back. Because do you truly understand the pains, the problems, and the concerns by your customer? I don't know if you can see that there's so much light right now. Anyway, those who are on the, is that anyway? For those who are in our paid circles, you can see it. But do you really understand his concerns? Let me be fair. I'm always honest. And those of you who are in my circle, you know that. Why shouldn't I? I'm going in for authenticity. Most of my career, I wasn't honest. No, sorry. Most of my career, I didn't know the pains and the problems of my customers. I was attached to the result. And it stressed me out. It made me frustrated, and I traded in my time for money, as I shared. And I wasn't really successful. How could I, when I didn't have the tools, first of all. So how could I know how to ask what is really keeping you up at night? And when I asked that question the first time, the person would say, the person said, it's my son. I didn't have the guts to, what do you mean? Are you really sure that's the only thing? So he was a bit toxic. And I'd become also a better version of myself to really ask, to tell me about that. What else? What else is keeping you awake at night, right? We want to go so deep. What else? Because it's about when we truly care about this person, and that's where the 4 levels of wealth or 4 levels of leadership. Well, this is transformational, and transactional, right? That's here. For us to create true impact, meaningful impact in this world, if it's you, if it's not you, that's fine. But I'm one of those who want to really contribute to this world. And I know many of my clients, they want to contribute to this world as well, because they know there are some gaps in this world and they know the superpower. But helping you want to be so curious about what is his hidden agenda or his hidden fears. I remember when I did change management activities, I'm not going to drop the company. I interviewed all leaders because I wanted to understand what was really keeping them awake at night. And that was the honest conversation. How often do you have those one-on-one honest conversations with your stakeholders? What I know, most people don't have those relationships, the genuine relationships with their stakeholders. But if you want to create more impact, you get to really serve that person and not your own ego. Your own ego is here. That's ego-driven. That's ego-driven. You don't want to be there because you will never feel fulfilled. Some people say, I'm happy. Well, yes, but there's luckily more levels of happiness, because here you trade in your hours for money. Here, you actually spend very few hours each day and you create massive impact in this world because you truly care to serve as many people as possible and set them up for success. So you want to be really curious about his why, his pains, his fears, because what he thinks he creates. What he thinks he creates. So if you haven't uncovered his fears, his deepest desires, what he's really concerned about, you will never understand why he doesn't execute as desired or agreed. because deep down there are some fears and subconsciously that hold him back or he doesn't trust. So you want to build a really strong relationship with your key stakeholders. And if you're honest with yourself, rate how deep your relationship with your key stakeholders are. And that takes me to another point. And that is that most people think that trust is just let's work together and then there's trust. But that is not how trust is built. Trust is in order for us to build trust, the input is respect. And let me share this with you. Many people don't respect their stakeholders. Don't respect their stakeholders, and that is energy. And let's see what if we get to energy today as well. Or at least we do it in the VIP. I just put it down here. If you don't respect your counterpartner, it's very difficult for you to build trust, because he can feel that, and you will never show up as that authentic, caring, trusted advisor you wanted to be and you're meant to be. So you want to really rewire what's the stories, the videos, the movies inside in your head to say, okay, I'm going to trust you. And I trust you. I trust you. And if you trust me back, that's what I say to my new clients. We can make breakthrough in less than 30 minutes. And so it's true. Trust is required. So remember to build trust. You now know the how. Build it. And so when you come to trust, you come to greater insights and greater results. And guess what? And that's what I'm truly passionate about. You have more free time, you have more freedom, you have peace of mind, you have greater success. And success equals wealth. And what is wealth? It's more time. Because the more impact you create, the more successful you are. But you want to be so committed to setting your customer up for success. Customer success, and I don't talk about corporations. I talk about the person, and most people are not aware of that. I'm sorry to say, it's really sad. I learned it the hard way. It's that the hard way, but I truly enjoyed it because I chose to say yes to myself. I chose to there's a big. I chose to invest in myself, and I invested tons of thousands of money, hundreds of thousands of money in myself. And we talk about dollars, because I want to take my life to the next level. I want to experience what it is to be abundant. I want to be abundance. And how can I learn to becoming an abundant person? It's about relearning how I do life, how I think. So if you want to create more impact, the way to do that, and somebody asked me, I said the other day, that's really tough. It's really hard. Well, if you choose to, but you can also enjoy and find the project really interesting, because you will see that every relationship will shift. That is the inside out work. Most people do it the wrong way, and I've been there myself. I would say, and I mentioned it, I dropped it yesterday. And that's, most people blame the outer world why they're not successful. They go inside out. Most people do that. And it's so sad that we don't have this in school. But then, luckily, there are some people who are willing to teach us how to do life differently and how to transform our life and career and generate generational wealth, which I think many people want. But you don't want to do inside out. You want to learn how to transform. Right, so inside out, they blame hope. This should be the other way. They blame the outside, why they are fired, why they feel miserable, But the way to do it is to change from within. People want the outside. Outside. People want the external world to change, and then they're happy. But that will never happen. The outer world won't change until you change. Say it again. The outer world won't change, or will only change when you change. So if you want more out of life, of your life, you want to understand how you show up. And why is this important? It's because if you want more success, you want to care so much about your customer. But in order for you to say, okay, where am I and how can I think differently? Then you want to start here. I hope this makes sense. Yeah. I can see some people nodding. That is so important. I have let's talk about language. I have a quote here from Steve Jobs, and I shared it with some of my community earlier today. Steve Jobs said, life is made up by people who's no smarter than you. You can change it. You can influence it. It's the world. You can build your own things people can use. Once you learn that, you will never, and once you learn that, you will never be the same. Why do I share that? I mentioned a bit in the beginning. There's a lot of light, but I think we're dealing with this, right? Is that we conform to some standards that other people have set up based on their limiting beliefs and default way of showing up. And we conform to their way of operating. I conform to how other people were seeing the world, how other people were setting up their systems and their frameworks and boundaries. But I could feel, and I know some of my clients resonate with this as well, I could feel the clash. My values, my potential couldn't conform to those narrow boundaries. That's why I chose to create a new organization or start on my own, do my solo entrepreneur. Now we are a team of 5. Many people conform to other people's standards. That also means that when we are to serve, it's about asking those questions that nobody else would ask. And now I tap into language. Language is, and we're talking about energy, it's so important. And I'm not talking about that my mother tongue is Danish, I speak English, and maybe you come from Finland and you speak Finnish, right? That is not the type of language I'm talking about. I'm talking about the language, which I haven't. We're gonna have another screen at some point. That's amazing. The studio. All right. Language. We have the brain, we have the mind, and we have the heart. That's also important when we want to influence our customer and so set him up for success and really understand what's going on. Language, your thoughts, is the language of your brain. Your feelings is the language of your mind, your body. I can feel it, right? That's language. It's not something I can. You can, and the language, that's a word, and then you said it's pain or anxiety, but it's a language, and the body tells you what's going on. And there is the heart, and it's your intuition. And you probably experienced also being an intuitive leader. I've been there for a decade in my life where I was told I was a dreamer and I shouldn't dream. And I completely erased listening to my heart and my intuition. Your heart knows what is right and wrong. Your heart knows if you should stay in that relationship or you should leave. Your heart knows whether you should serve that manager or serve that company or not. Most people do not listen to their intuition. But it's a wise choice to listen to your intuition, because your intuition is always right. The same with, and that requires, in order for us to listen to the intuition, requires to have an open mind, open heart. If we contract our heart, if we close our heart, when we close our heart, I can feel it. When I close my heart, I come from scarcity, fear, frustration, anxiety, depression. Not recently, but really sadness, overwhelm, those lower level feelings and energies. Then I close my heart. And I can't tap into my intuition when I close my heart. Neither can you, neither can your customer. I can't think creatively. I'm actually having an energy assessment walkthrough tomorrow, where we're going to talk about tapping into her highest potential. And she's a top end leader. And that's so important. If we want peace of mind, if we want create more impact, being authentic, we also want to learn to relax and be us. Because if we are not us, we don't allow ourselves to be us, and then you will not tap into and listen to your heart. Then you most likely, and you may be you may be in teams, or you may be serving a CEO who's very much a logical thinker. He listens to his thoughts, and he uses his past as the GPS for what to do next. But that's dangerous if we just trust, I know best, because what is he missing out on or ignoring because he's not listening to his feelings and he's not listening to his heart, right? That's where we, as trusted advisors and creating more impact, we want to provoke our customer, internal customer, external customer, with love and say, hey, hang on, it sounds a bit fixed-minded. What is really going on? Because we want to be attached to the process and set him up for success. He does not know his blind spots, but we are here to help him understand his blind spots. All right? So important. And so we navigate in a web where there's a lot of different languages, rituals, rules, what else? Beliefs, organizational cultures, right? How to behave, how to function. But it may not be the right web, right? Or the right web, but this may not be the right stepping stones to focus on. So that's why we want to really understand what is holding us back in order to create more impact. That's why it's the inside out. You will never become more successful if you do not take time to connect with who you truly are. Oof, I could feel that in my ear. That's really deep. And most people sadly do not invest in themselves. They say later, But you know what? That later will never come. You get to say yes to yourself. You get to be so committed on taking your life to the next level. No one else can do that for you. No one else can do the work for you. But if you have so big goals for yourself, then you want to understand how you are showing up right here, right now, what you're thinking, your belief systems, your default patterns have probably been laid out over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And we'll get some help and say, what is serving me and what is not serving you? I've been through this process and I'm not done yet, right? Because I keep evolving. But I know that the beliefs I had, my body's so responding now. Whoosh, it's kind of a rush. The beliefs I believe to be true kept me hostage and victimized in my life. I felt a victim. I lived according to other people's standards. And they let me, people, those of you who know my story, it were not my standards. But I didn't, listen, ladies, I didn't dare to break free because what would people think of me? What would they say? It took me years to be me. It took me years to be me. I don't want that to happen for you. That's the reason why I host this channel challenges and other trainings. Because if I can help you become you faster than it took me, then I'll be so happy. As a client, I'm so emotional right now because it's the best thing I ever done, allowing myself to be me. As a client, we did a deep work some time ago, and she said, I want to allow myself to be me. Whoosh! You know, that is the work that we're doing in my community, helping you to become you. And when you grant yourself the permission to be you, being worthy of success, you are enough, and believe from it, then you will serve your customer like you never had served him or her before. Okay? And then stay with me, because that's something I learned only by investing in myself. And that is about seeing this customer as who he truly is. He's not toxic. He's not believing in you. He's a beautiful soul, but there's something that triggers him to show up, barricading himself with words and titles. And I've been there in rooms with people, I am this and I am that, and I felt I'm not that, and I felt so small. But now I know that what is he actually trying to avoid talking about? And why does he give so much power to titles? I'm curious about those people who really say, I am VP or EVP. I don't care. You are a person, and I'm here to set you up for success. And if you can allow yourself, and if you're my tribes, I'm helping you with that. I'm working the journey with you to really show up and be so passionate about those you're in room with, then you will never again dim your light when there is a, let me do like this, perceived EVP, and women can also be really mean. A woman coming in that door and she's carrying her title and say, hey, what's really going on? She tries to boss you down with negative language, but you will learn no longer to accept and assault that negative language. You will learn to observe, hey, what's really going on? Why are you I don't know, I wouldn't say that, but in my mind, I would say, why are you playing that power game? That's where there's the work that we do in my community is so important, because you and my clients, I was a client, she sent me a Marco Polo set that was a restructure. And don't know if you're listening to this right now, but you were one of those who got promoted in that Because I don't know, but you allowed it yourself to step out of your comfort zone. You dare to ask those questions. My body's so responding now. You dare to ask those questions that nobody else in that organization had asked him. And that client has been noticed and recognized for the work that you've done in less than 3 months. That's how powerful it is. And you can feel, I'm so passionate about this, because not only when you really allow yourself to be who you truly are, that woman who says, I'm the EVP and I have a client who I couldn't breathe when she was in. She's just toxic. That beautiful lady is struggling with something. Let's meet her where she is. Let's face together with her fears, her challenges. And so you will build this rapport, respect, and you will set her up for success. But we don't learn that in business courses, in-house courses, because people don't know this right now. Otherwise, we wouldn't have toxic people. We wouldn't have people who struggle, right? Organizations who have culture climates that are very unhealthy. It wouldn't be that way if we learned about energy and learned about embracing and holding the space for other people. I'm so passionate about this. But understanding what's really going on will help you break through boundaries and allowing yourself to show up, truly caring, being authentic. And guess what? This will give you a better life, peace of mind. You will not have pain in the jaw. You will not fall sick. You will not have headache. I've been there. Every Saturday, I could lay on the sofa with headache and migraine. It's gone when you allow and you learn to be yourself. That's how impactful the stuff I have learned is and what I teach. This is really deep. For me, this is transformative, and it has the potential to transform your life if you allow it to. You can stay fixed-minded. I don't care where you are on this journey. You can stay fixed-minded. There's a lot of people who are fixed-minded because they're afraid of learning about themselves. It's vulnerable. It's damn vulnerable to learn about yourself. I know. I've been there. And sometimes I still am. I know there's a lot of light. It's beautiful though. The sun is shining. But people who are afraid of learning about themselves, right? They rather go and buy a new car, or what? We can't go on holiday next year, right? But they're still fixed-minded, and they have the same pain year after year after year. They will never reach abundance. These people will be transactional, and they are transactional oriented. I don't say it's wrong, but what I am teaching and what I am learning is to be so imaginative and visionary so that I can help even more people transform their lives, create more impact and more free time, and truly enjoy the fullest experience of life. That's deep. I want to close this public viewing, and then we have some Q&A in our next room. I want to take you into something that's also transformational. And it's something you want to understand, because you can use it. Everything I teach in this is that you can use it in your own career and also at home. That is, let me see what I have it, but that's 4 levels of learning. And maybe you heard about it. I didn't know about this until I started working with one of my mentors. That's how it happens when you go all in your life. Then you learn something that business schools don't teach, right? Because there's no demand for this, not yet. But there will be sooner, I sense. The 4 levels of learning, let's put it on this. And here's where most people get stuck. And here's where most people don't get the success that they desire. Here, we We know about it. You read a magazine about something. I hope you can see. You read about it, and I know about it, and I've been there. Everything I share, I've been there. I've been there most of my life, but I also know how to tackle it now and some tools on how to navigate beyond it and go beyond it. Most people, and it's really, really interesting, right? I know about it. I don't need any help. But that is the lowest level of knowledge. That's the lowest level of learning because you learned absolutely nothing just by knowing about it. Then you know, no, sorry, you heard about it, you know about it. I heard about it. Heard about it. Sorry for that. And thanks for holding the space. You know about it. Know about it. Okay? I've heard about it. Okay. You heard about it. I've been there. I've been there so many times. I heard about it. Okay. I may not truly understand what it's all about. Then I know about it. Here's where this is really sad. Most people think that, and I've been there and invested so much money in credentials and courses. Just by enrolling on a course doesn't make you any better because you know about it, but you haven't practiced it. Remember, to master it requires you 10,000 hours. So even though you're maybe taking an MBA right now, that won't get you to that next level. The way up, and that's also a mindset shift, is about you're doing it, you're learning about it. And when you're truly a master in your field, and that's why this Impact Mastery Challenge is all about. It's about how to get to mastery, the 10,000 hours. And your customer would probably say, but I know about it and I know what to do and what not to do. Yeah, but we know then you also have some frameworks, you have your experiences, and you will never say, I've been there and I've done that and I know exactly what to do. You will have some frameworks. Here, we create frameworks. We talked about yesterday about your uniqueness, your superpower. You have frameworks for your unique wisdom. And that will give you an unfair advantage. So if he says, I know about it, I know how to do it, I would be super curious about, has he actually some experience in that more than 2 hours? Because I know about it. Yeah. And so what? He has no experience. He has no reference points about that. So be super curious about those you serve and say, I know about it. It's not important. Oh, how will you know if you don't master it, if you don't have any expertise? I have that expertise. Let me just share because it may unlock some of the blind spots or some of the pains that we are facing. I really go in exploring this. So remember that. Remember, here's what we talked about, your superpower. What is it that makes you unique? I talked about it yesterday, about the goldfish question. Very few people, sadly, know what makes them unique. And what really breaks my heart, and now then we're breaking up into the VIP room, is that I see so many people, and I hope don't that be you, when they are in transition, looking for the next job, and they have such a transformational mindset. And if it's you listening, now take action. Oh, that's a plan. Here. They come with a hat and say, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Do you have a job for me? Really? They want to be a next level leader. But they are coming without them knowing they have the transactional mindset and they all focus on the how. That is the how. But don't that be you. And if you're in that process, Find another career advisor to help you. Because truly, when you know and own your superpower, what makes you unique, your frameworks, then you can go in, our customer, then you can go in and be super curious about what is really your challenges. Where do you want to go? Right? And serve that person. What does he want? And where does he want to go? And then, because remember yesterday created the bridge. You are the facilitator of change. You're not the change maker. You are going to facilitate that change from here to his destination. So be so passionate about where your clients want to go, or where your customers want to go, internal, external customers. But the first point of where to start is you. You get to understand what are holding you back from asking those bold questions. We didn't get to the 4 levels of listening. But how do you listen? Do you truly listen, or do you want to have an answer? I serve so many women who have been taught, and they come from society, that you can't ask an answer without having ask a question without having an answer. But excuse my French right now, bullshit. If we want to be transformational leaders, we don't have the answers. We listen to our intuition. We come from the place of highest level of leadership, of being of service. Then we don't have the question. Why don't we have the answers? I don't have the answers, but I do have some frameworks. I have 20 plus years of corporate gig experiences and personal development, and I'm bundling these 2 worlds together. And that helped me, and it helped my clients take their leadership impact and their life to the next level. So we are saying goodbye. We're letting go of all, not all, but a lot of those society norms and rules and how to do it. Bullshit, right? It's the B rules, as Mindvalley calls it, bullshit rules. No, we are asking those questions, and you don't have the answers. We're going to find the answers together. Because if we have the answers, we are afraid. That is the ego talking. Whoosh. How is this up? That is ego. And we cannot come from a place of creativity if the fear-based is scarcity, overwhelmed mindset is to control the future. Because we are not creating the future. We're just creating more of the past. That was deep. And there was so much learning in this. If you want to join us again tomorrow on when you're actually showing up, and actually reveal some of this here, but we're going to recap, then join us again on your preferred platform at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I talk so much. And if you feel called to take your life to the next level, and really a client said, can also talk about my private life, of course. I mean, I'm not just leadership. I'm about you, helping you experience life and the fullest potential of fullest expression of you. Then I have a program coming up, Authentic Leadership Mastery, 12 months, a 12-week program over a couple of months. You want to join if you're ready to take your life to the next level and create generational wealth. That's what it's all about, taking your life to the next level. So you know where you are on this journey. You know where you want to go, and don't say